Joe, we were discussing before the Deuce, former Governor Doug Ducey, put out a tweet saying that he was going to support Republicans up and down the ballot. No big surprise, a Republican governor saying he's going to support Republicans. I'm not shocked by that.
Little surprise in that he mentioned former President Trump and Carrie Lake in there, that he'd support them.
Two people with whom we thought maybe there was not a riff, but let's just say...
Disagreement?
Tension?
Little schism, maybe?
Yeah, schism is good. I like schism. That was a good one.
It's just a big word. I don't even necessarily know what it means.
So he pulled that. He put out the tweet, and then Senator Mark Kelly was speaking with CNN, and he was telling Caitlin Collins that he doesn't understand that Ducey stood up for Arizona voters, but now he's done a complete 180. Mm-hmm. So why did Senator Kelly feel the need to say anything about Ducey's tweet at all, Joe?
I've got theories on it. I know you have some theories on it. As a Democrat, any opportunity to weigh in, take a shot at Trump, one you need to take. So Mark Kelly is obviously seizing on that. Now, does Kelly know? Because you postulated earlier in the week, you said, hey, maybe Ducey's not really going to vote for Trump and Lake. Does Kelly know that? I don't think Kelly knows that.
I don't think it matters because it doesn't matter to Kelly what he's going to do. If Ducey says, I'm going to vote Republican, but then secretly doesn't, nobody's the wiser. Nobody finds that out.
Is Kelly doing this because he knows Ducey could be his challenger a few years down the road in 2028? I don't think he's looking that far down the road. Is that possible? Yes.
I do.
I don't think he's doing it for that. I think Mark Kelly is doing this because he's a good party statesman. He's trying to play the game more. He doesn't have a ton of personality, but he's well-respected and viewed as a good, well-respected guy for the Democratic Party. And he knows if he wants to gain his prestige in the Senate, become a VP, become the president someday, this is the game, and you have to play it.
Remember when it comes to fundraising, too, which is one of the 5 skills that you identified that the politicians have to have.
5-tool politician needs that.
When you can paint the other side in a certain manner, then you can put out your the sky is falling email and say, Doug Ducey used to care about Arizonans, but now he doesn't, saying that we need to vote for the guy that's got almost 3 dozen felonies, and then Carrie Lake, who has no experience. This guy is a threat. Donate to me now so that I can make sure that we stay safe in Arizona.
But just $5 if you have it. That's all I need right now.
Everything helps. Yeah, that'll be it.
And Kelly is very good at fundraising.
Right. So would it be almost political malpractice not to seize this opportunity?
Yeah. Yes, it would.
Which you would almost argue he has been guilty of in the past because
he's been very quiet and just kind of sits there on the sidelines.
Yeah, so I thought that was really interesting. To me, it comes down to branding, both for the Deuce and for Mark Kelly. And I was hinting at this earlier. I think this is all trying to distinguish themselves. How do I want to be identified? And in the case of Doug Ducey, he says, I identify as a big tent Republican. Right?
Okay. What's a big tent Republican? Sum that up for me in a few sentences.
Welcomes everybody into the party, into the fold. Regardless of viewpoint, if you vote for me, I'm going to make sure that your viewpoint is recognized.
More of an old school Republican, more like a Reagan kind of?
Absolutely. 100%. But in doing so, he's saying, listen, MAGA, maybe I've been off-putting to you in the past, but don't feel off-putting. This is an olive branch to MAGA, is what it is. And that, I think, is an indicator that he has every intention of running for office in the future.
Fair to say the same about Mark Kelly, kind of a big tent Democrat?
Well, everybody's trying to be this big tent thing lately, and then we end up with culture wars, and everybody's trying basically to close the other guy's tent. Nobody wants to let the other person bring anybody in. Nobody's trying to recruit anyone else into their own tent. They're just trying to stop other people from going to the other side's tent.
Is it fair to say, too, that Ducey and Kelly, in a lot of ways, are two sides of the same coin? They're well respected by their parties, not the most outgoing, gregarious individuals, but they are fairly well liked.
So are you saying that
it's interesting to see them beef because they haven't been those most extreme ends of their party.
Sure.
Typically, they're the ones who will cross the aisle, who will work with the other side, or at least the independents, to try to get deals done.
So you're saying you got Mark Kelly as a potato, is Doug Ducey a yam?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we've got the yam and the potato.
Yam I am.
So to your point, yeah, they're both pretty moderate. Kelly moderate to the left, Ducey moderate to the right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But they also have to make sure that they're appealing to every wing in their party without abandoning the moderates of their party, and also maybe picking up a few independents, which is a tough balance. That's why they're working so hard to both define themselves and, in Kelly's case, to define Ducey. Now, Ducey hasn't said anything about Kelly.
Yet.
Right. But this is a risk, though, that whole what is my identity thing. This is the risk that Ducey was taking when he tweeted that out because, as I mentioned, he wants to ingratiate himself with the MAGA wing of the Republican Party, but he runs the risk of being painted as a member of the MAGA wing of the Republican Party. If the MAGA wing is successful in this election cycle, if Trump wins and Kari Lake wins and a bunch of other MAGA senators win around the country,
he'd need to hope he gets a cabinet level position or something like that.
He may be lobbying for that or an ambassadorship, but also he can say, well, hey, I was with you guys during that run. If MAGA is unsuccessful, the GOP is going to take a look and they're going to go, 2020 we didn't win. Kari Lake, 2022 didn't win. Now 2024 we're not winning. We're going to have to reconsider our
new
approach
playbook.
Now. Right. And Ducey's going to say, hey, listen, you want a new playbook? I was very popular in Arizona, and I've also extended an olive branch to the MAGA group. So we don't want to say, MAGA, your opinions don't matter. We want to say, MAGA, your opinions do matter. We just have to approach it a little bit differently, and he wants to set himself up for that. In doing so, however, he allows for somebody like Mark Kelly to say, he's crossed the line. Now Ducey has become all MAGA, and if MAGA doesn't win, then Ducey goes, he's part of the failed MAGA crowd. I'm sorry, Mark Kelly can say he's part of that failed MAGA crowd.
How's it a win for Kelly, though, since he's not on the ballot until at least 2028? He's not running now.
Again,
he wouldn't run in 2026.
Define himself, and then also take out a potential competitor early.
Do you want to define yourself until you absolutely have to?
I think he's at the point where he's already defined. He'll be an incumbent going in, and he was vetted for VP, which gave him a lot of headlines. I think his image is largely defined right now. Because even here, you heard right-wing talk show hosts that were saying things like, oh, he's beholden to China, right? And he did this, and he did that. I mean, we already heard the attack ads going on before he was even... just because he was part of the vetting process.
They've went on for years with the China thing.
Sure. So I think some of the defining Mark Kelly has already taken place. I think right now Ducey is trying to redefine himself a little bit, and Mark Kelly wants to help him over-define himself. That's what I think is going on. So it's a branding war that's happening right now. And I love, too, that Kelly played the whole I'm disappointed in you card. Daddy Kelly.
The parental.
Yeah. I'm disappointed in your decisions, Doug. I'm disappointed.
Thanks for watching The Chris and Joe Show. Click to see more from Chris and Joe, and tap the button in the middle to subscribe to KTAR News.